Hello guys, my name is Desmond and I welcome you to my lesson for today. Ladies and gentlemen, a day without learning something new, it's a day wasted. By so saying, good people, I assume you are well prepared and you will make sure that by the end of each and every lesson that I conduct, you will learn something new. Okay, so guys, for today we'll be looking at Mathematics P1 of grade 11, ladies and gentlemen. This was a November 2017 exam paper. Okay, so guys, remember, for this type of lessons, that's where I take you through ways in which you answer this type of questions. Okay, not necessarily to solve or give you the final answers, but just to guide you in terms of the approach. Remember, I've already done a complete lesson where I go in detail by solving this question. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, question 3 is what we'll be looking at. Question 3.1, it contains a 1, 2, 3 sub-questions, ladies and gentlemen. So that means these 3 questions, guys, these 3 questions will be based on that information. Okay, very much important, ladies and gentlemen. So now we'll also look at question 3.2, of which we've got a given information over there and the question follows after the given information. Okay, very much important, ladies and gentlemen, that you fully understand, and also it's very much important that you are able to interpret the given information. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, taking into account that each question is allocated some marks. Okay, so most of these questions are allocated 2 marks, ladies and gentlemen, which is an indication that it's not really a complicated question. Okay, so this one is given 4 marks. Okay, most importantly, guys, you need to understand the question, and also you need to be able to interpret the given information. Failure to do so, ladies and gentlemen, might result in you failing to answer the subsequent questions. Okay, so guys, I'm just going to quickly read through the given information, but let me see if I can try and change a color and use a different color. So ladies and gentlemen, question 3.1, we're given the information over there. So I'm just going to quickly read through that given information, and then from there we should be able to try and see how to approach those questions. So guys, given the finite linear pattern, we've got 12, 17, 22, and lastly, or the last number of that pattern is 172. Very much important, ladies and gentlemen. I just want you to be aware of something. Okay, guys, they've just indicated that given the finite linear pattern, massively important. Remember, guys, linear pattern, it's also an arithmetic pattern or arithmetic sequence. Okay, very much important, ladies and gentlemen. So we're given a type of a pattern, okay, of which it could be a geometric. In other cases, you can still have a quadratic sequence, ladies and gentlemen, but in this case we're given a linear pattern, of which we may still refer to that as a arithmetic sequence. Okay, massively important. What does it mean, ladies and gentlemen? You need to know all the properties in relation to that type of a pattern. Okay, obviously we know the formula. What is the formula, guys? The formula, it's, let me see if I can find somewhere to write. Okay, let's see. I hope this is not thick. So ladies and gentlemen, we know Tn, it's equals to a plus into we've got n minus 1 close D, ladies and gentlemen, and we know this refers to the first term of the sequence, and this is the number in the sequence, ladies and gentlemen, and this is the difference, the common difference, ladies and gentlemen, the first common difference. Okay, I'm going to explain that shortly as soon as I'm done. So ladies and gentlemen, this is for that linear pattern. This is that equation for that linear pattern, and again for arithmetic, ladies and gentlemen, for arithmetic. Massively important, ladies and gentlemen, that you are fully aware of all the characteristics of an arithmetic or linear pattern, ladies and gentlemen. Very, very much important. Okay, and remember, this is the nth term of the pattern or sequence, which is referred to as Tn. Now let's go back to our question, ladies and gentlemen. So obviously, guys, in this case, as you can see, we are given that pattern over there. Let's try to confirm if indeed this given pattern is an arithmetic pattern. How do we confirm, ladies and gentlemen? Obviously, we want to know what is the difference of the second and the first term. Okay, what is the difference of the third and the second term? Massively important, ladies and gentlemen. So if we find the common difference, then it means it is confirmed that it's an arithmetic or it's a linear pattern. So ladies and gentlemen, obviously 17 minus 12, I think it's 5, and again 12 minus 17, you can just punch on a calculator to confirm. It seems to be 5. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, what do I mean when I say for an arithmetic sequence you should be having what we call a common difference? As you can see, ladies and gentlemen, what I mean by the common difference, the first common difference, is because we've done the first calculations of finding the common difference. Okay, remember, in quadratic you might need to also do some calculations where you find the second common difference. You understand? So now in this case we didn't have to go deep into finding the second common difference. We just found it on the first common difference. Okay, so that means this is indeed a arithmetic pattern or arithmetic sequence. I actually wanted to say linear pattern. Okay, so now I think, guys, we can start with our questions, but before we do that, remember, guys, this is the first 3 terms of the pattern, né? So these are the first 3 terms of the pattern, and this is the last pattern of that given linear pattern. Okay, so in between, ladies and gentlemen, we still have some terms of which we might not know how many terms there are in between, but we just know we've got the first 3 terms and this is the last term of that linear pattern. Okay, very, very much important, ladies and gentlemen. So now let's try to answer the questions. Ladies and gentlemen, question 3.1.1 says determine a formula for the nth term of the pattern. Massively important, ladies and gentlemen. Determine a formula for the nth term of the pattern. Okay, so you need to be aware of exactly what the question wants you to calculate. The formula the formula for the nth term of the pattern. That's what the question wants you to calculate. So it means in the end you should be having Tn, it's equals to something, ladies and gentlemen. In that way you would have answered the question. Okay, so obviously you might find that you need to use that formula, ladies and gentlemen. And also, as you do that, you might need to ask yourself that, do you have the value of A, ladies and gentlemen? Do you have the value of D, ladies and gentlemen? If you do have those values, substitute in brackets, and simplify until you've got Tn is equals to a simplified formula, ladies and gentlemen. Do not just substitute and leave it there. Okay, multiply, work out the like terms if they are, and then from there write the final formula in the form of Tn is equals to a simplified formula. Massively important, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm just going to remove all of that information. I hope you fully understand, guys. Please do make sure that, in case if you don't understand, when we do our private lessons, you gather all the questions that you might be having in relation to this lesson. So ladies and gentlemen, I will address those questions, but one thing for sure, as I've indicated, I've done a lesson where I solve in detail these questions. Okay, so now, ladies and gentlemen, let's remove all of that information, and then from there we'll just let me see, I want to try and erase that information, ladies and gentlemen, so that we move to the next question. Okay, let me choose the color that I was using. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, let's now move to question 3.1.2. The question says calculate the value of T12. Okay, guys, something that you need to be aware of is that they want you to calculate the value of Tn. Let me see. I'm not sure if I'm able to write. Okay, let's choose that and write, ladies and gentlemen. They want you to calculate T12. Remember, on that formula we've got Tn. Okay, what does it mean, ladies and gentlemen? It simply means in place of n, or wherever you see n, ladies and gentlemen, substitute 12. Okay, very, very much important, guys. So that means on that formula that you calculated or determined on the previous question, substitute 12 in place of n. Okay, so if you had Tn is equals to, just as an example, ladies and gentlemen, let's say you had what is it? Let's say you had 7, maybe minus 5n. This is just an example, ladies and gentlemen. So what this question wants you to do is to substitute 12 where you see n and punch all of it and tell us what is the value of T12. Remember, there it's 12, ladies and gentlemen, just so that your final answer is presented as T12 it's equals to whatever that you find when you punch on a calculator. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, let's now move to the next question. I hope you fully understand that part. Okay, so guys, please remember, it's very, very much important that you listen very carefully, and towards the end or otherwise watch this lesson for the second time, where you write some notes before you go and check out the memo. Guys, please try to answer this question by yourself. As soon as you're done, then you can go and try to check out the memo to compare if you approached the same question in the manner in which I did. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, let's see if we use a black marker there. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, let's now move on to the next question, 3.1.3. The question says determine the number of the terms in the pattern. Massively important, ladies and gentlemen. Determine the number of the terms. This is the cream of your question, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, guys, at the end of this lesson, I'm going to link this video to a lesson that I've done where I solve these questions. Okay, so just watch this lesson until the end. Stop it as I complete the lesson. Try to work it out, and then as soon as you're done working it out, then you can check out that lesson to see if we have applied the same approach. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, as I've indicated, this is the cream of your question. Okay, so now what exactly does the question wants you to calculate? Determine the number of terms in the pattern. So they want to know how many terms have we got in this pattern. Remember, I've said in between we've got some terms, ladies and gentlemen. We've got some terms. Okay, so up until this term, we want to know how many terms are there, ladies and gentlemen. That's what the question wants you to calculate. Okay, massively important, ladies and gentlemen, that you fully understand what the question wants you to do. Okay, so guys, I hope so far we are on the same page. So ladies and gentlemen, obviously what the question wants you to calculate, let me just try to explain on this side. Ladies and gentlemen, I just want you to understand. Remember, we've got the formula which says Tn is equals to A plus into N minus 1 close D. Okay, so what the question wants you to calculate, ladies and gentlemen, it's that N. Okay, this is that N, ladies and gentlemen. That's exactly what they want you to calculate. Okay, so obviously we've got the nth term, we've got the first term, and again, ladies and gentlemen, we've got the difference. Okay, so what the question wants you to calculate is that N. Okay, so that means you might need to substitute there, and again substitute there, and solve for the value of N. Okay, massively important, ladies and gentlemen, that you fully understand what the question wants you to calculate. Okay, so now I think we can move on to the next question, ladies and gentlemen. So let's see, let me go back to that color. So 3.2, given the first 4 terms of a linear pattern, which is 3xy 30. The question says calculate the values of x and y. What an interesting question, ladies and gentlemen. Let me see if I can just write down that given a pattern. So I'm just going to quickly remove all of this, ladies and gentlemen. Just want to make sure that you fully understand. Okay, so I think we're given, what was it? I think it was 3 followed by x followed by y followed by 30. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, massively important that you fully understand how to approach this type of questions. Obviously, you still remember they want you to calculate the values of x and y. Okay, remember guys, this minus that, it's equals to this minus that. Okay, and again it's equals to this minus that. Why am I saying this, ladies and gentlemen? Is because let's check on the given information, guys. They just said this is the given first 4 terms of a linear pattern. Massively important, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so obviously it means you already know that over there you've got x minus 3, and again you've got y minus x over there, and then again you've got 30 minus y over there, ladies and gentlemen. So let me just put all of that in brackets so that you see this is one term. Okay, this is one term, this is one term. Massively important, guys. So we know that this should be equals to that, and again this should be equals to that, and most importantly that should also be equal to that. Okay, so guys, let me just remove some of the information so that you understand how to approach that question. So I'll just remove all of that, ladies and gentlemen. Let me just remove all of that. Okay. Okay. So now that means I just want to formulate. So that means I can equate this to that. So I can say x minus 3 is equals to y minus x. Okay, I can do that, ladies and gentlemen. I can definitely do that. And again, guys, I can still equate this to that and say y minus x is equals to 30 minus y. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, these are the type of questions where you've got equation number 1, equation number 2, then you determine equation number 3 and approach this type of questions as if you're solving for a simultaneous equation, ladies and gentlemen. So it's not really that much complicated. It's just a matter of you knowing exactly what you need to do, and then from there you just solve for x and y. Remember, you can just make a y the subject of the formula and substitute it on the other equation, then calculate for the value of x. As soon as you're done with the value of x, you then use that value of x to calculate for the value of y. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, it's not that much complicated. So guys, by so doing, you score yourself a full 10 marks for this question. So the first question was allocated 2 marks, guys. Obviously, your first and last mark, your first and last step might be allocated some marks. Let me just say for substitution and again for correct answer. Okay, that's where you score your marks. Same applies for that question, and again same applies for that question. So obviously for 4 marks, ladies and gentlemen, for equating, for simplification, for the value of x and y, that's when you score some marks. Okay, so guys, this brings us to the end of our lesson for today. I hope you enjoyed this lesson as much as I did. So ladies and gentlemen, on our next lesson we might actually look at we might actually look at that next question. Okay, question number 4, where it says given the quadratic pattern. So this is what we'll be doing on our next lesson. So please do make sure that, in case if you're watching this from my YouTube channel, subscribe so that you don't miss my upcoming lessons. And again, most importantly, ladies and gentlemen, please do make sure that you don't forget to gather all the questions that you had when I was busy with this lesson. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, what I need to do now is just to sign. So ladies and gentlemen, my name is Desmond and I'm out.